Hello all, happy couple of days after patch day for the month of June in Everquest. In today's video we're talking about some of the things that are impacting the player base right now, some of the things that were updated, as well as some of the things that we should expect in the future, near future that is. Alright, so let's get to this. First thing is what is impacting the player base right now? EQTraders and Gina not working properly. So for sure, EQTraders will be back eventually. I do know that the people that are overseeing it are trying to get it up and running as quick as possible. So when, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with it, but I do know that they're looking into it and it will be up eventually. So there's good news for that. Gina, however, I feel is struggling a little bit. We've had this issue in the past couple of years where you're unable to send triggers to each other via the link, and eventually it gets back running, but I think at this point folks should probably start looking at alternate means, like EQlogparser is probably a good thing. I've been testing it out a little bit, and we'll see how it goes, but for the time being people should look at that. So here's a real quick run through on how to share Gina triggers if your guild is still using it. Because truth be told, like having an entire guild shift over different triggers and everything like that, it can be difficult, especially with the community not being as tech savvy as before, as when we were younger. Let's just say it like that. Alright, so if you want to share triggers or whatnot, you highlight the triggers that you want to share. You go to Sharing tab, you go to Export, go to Gina package. You make sure you send it to wherever you want to send it. You name it whatever you want to name it. So here's the desktop, you name it whatever you want to name it, you hit save. It saves it there, and then you throw this file in your Discord or you email it, whatever it is. You need to get this file to your recipients, and the process is fairly easy. As soon as they have their Gene open, you double click it, it opens up, and then you just hit merge, just like that. So that's how you share packages for the time being. EQlogparser is working like how Gina does. You make a link, a share link, you send it, it merges, and you're wonderful. So there's that. And if my guild does move to EQlogparsers, I'll make a separate video for this and the community on how to get that done. So there's that. Alright, next thing. There is a server merge coming. If you see here on July 16th, Ragefire will be merged onto Fox. Basically, they're condensing the TLP servers that have reached up to live server status and whatnot. Big thing here is free transfers after June 18th if you're looking to go to live servers. So I do welcome any guilds that are wanting to move off and to come to Drinal. We recently did lose a raiding guild here, so we definitely have space here. And certainly if you do come here, you'll have the full support of me, my resources to help you guys succeed in this game. So yeah, this is an open invitation to any guilds from these guys. If you guys want to move over to Drinal, yeah, we can hang out and get shit dead. So there's that. Alright, next thing is going to be EXP bonus. Everyone's wonderful thing. Scorched Sky bonus is coming July 1st. And it will end July 8th. You'll get 76% EXP bonus, rares, and faction. So good time to level up your personas, alts, boxes, or if you're just coming back to the game, EXP bonus time's always great. So like always, things that you want to do beforehand is get your overseers rewards ready. 24-hour crit ones are going to be the best. 6-hour regular successes are the least. So the longer the hour-wise quest crits are going to be the best. And yeah, get those done right there. So next thing is going to be those that, if you're not aware, June 1st is the 6-month mark of an expansion, and a few things happened. I did mention this in the last video, but I'll mention it again. For raiders, you're going to get increased drop rates of the player-made stuff and spells. So I've seen up to 6 rebellion pieces drop, so that's pretty good, and a boatload of spells that most guilds at this point should be rotting, like the lessers and miners and whatnot. So there's that. Then in the group missions, there's a chance, okay, of dropping 2 uprisings, which is a player-made stuff. So one great thing is if you are still missing your fortitudes, do the brood architect mission. That one could drop it, and there's a chance of dropping 2 in there. So if you go for it, get those done there. And the last thing that is not really mentioned, but it's definitely worth noting, is that the luck augs and the type 19s have an increased drop rate in the raid mission trash. I did test this out personally myself. I killed 13 mobs in TOE and was able to get 3 luck and 3 type 19 augs. Real quickly here, and all these things that my tabs here I'll put in the description. This is stolen from Sanctus, one of his posts, and this just shows you the benefits of luck. So while it is minor at best, it is still something of an upgrade. So if you're those pixel jockeys, chasers that want the best of everything for your character, this is something to do. So there's that. Let's take a look at the game updates, and apologies for my cat meowing in the background. Alright, so highlights, items. They did update a few things from City of Mist. They did remove some race restrictions, and they added some classes to use there, so it's more open to modern, raid races, combinations, and whatnot. They did increase a few ratios to some weapons that were a little bit behind. Everything else is kind of meh. It is like they reduced the cast time of the wizard only staff from 18 seconds to 10 seconds, which is still a long time in my opinion. So, but there is one item that I was totally wrong about in saying like there's nothing good for raiders, and we'll get to that in a moment. We'll go over that. Trade skill thing doesn't really matter. Berserker spell thing is a quality of life. Oh my god, what's happening with my cat? Quality of life thing, which is very nice. And one very interesting thing here for spells is the Druid Bear is returning more mana. Druids definitely had issues with mana. Hold on one second. I'm going to pause the video and see what's up with my kitty. Alright, back. Sorry about that. It's like 5 a.m. She might be hungry or just looking for attention. Alright, and back on track. So there's that. They did update Paladin aggro. Apparently they will be doing more. So there's that. And then the progression and everything else, not that important. So those are the main updates there that we should take a look at. And let's talk about hardcore finally. This is the best part here. Alright, so first thing, hardcore phase 2 is in effect. If you go in game and type /calendar, you're going to see that phase 2 started on the 18th, which was a couple of days earlier, and we're going to get Clan Crushbone, which is nothing. We don't care about that. Permafrost, there's nothing we care about there. There's some notable things in Mistmore, Nagvin's Lair, and the Rune of Celeblis. If you look at my older video that I did earlier this month, in the description, I list all the different items I feel are relevant for live players still. One thing that City of Mist lacked was like some interesting clickies, some anything. Like there was nothing notable in the City of Mist, while the older ones had some cool clickies and stuff like that. So take a look at this, and I'll put it in the description again. But here's the list of the phase 2 stuff that's needed. So just some highlights. Right now in Celeblis, you could get this Ancient Cloak of Flames. Basically with this, you take a look at it here. When you click it, you get Ancient Flames. And this is going to be for your special tab. And if you go to items, Ancient Flames right here, this is over haste. This passively increases your haste by 17%. This is the only way to get the full rank of 8 of 8. The older clickies that once comes on gear is 16%, so you do gain 1% more of over haste in addition to some hit point regen. So obviously this is great for tanks and melee and hybrids and all that good stuff, but I would honestly say this is good for anybody because it is a free passive AA, and at the very least you're still getting some hit point regen. While 18 it means nothing, it's still free, so get it. How do you get this Ancient Cloak of Flames? You go to Sol B, you know, and destroy everything in the zone. It's a rare drop, probably like 0.1% or something, so you do need to kill a lot of trash and get it done. What's nice about this is that it's attunable. What does that mean? You can click it, trade it to somebody, they click it, they go to this loyalty merchant here, you buy the unattuner, it's a container, you put the cloak back in, and then it makes it tradable, so you can pass it off to every tune. So if you do this, make sure that the person has enough currency, which is 432, and then they can pass it around, pass it back, do whatever you need to do. But this is the only time of the year that you could get that cloak. Now if you're having really bad luck with the drop, you know, mass killing, there is a raid in Sol B that you can do that drops a no drop one. So it's just for one time, one person click. That raid itself, maybe I'll make a video of it. Basically you need 4 people to click in the corners and some tank swapping to be done. Definitely single groupable, and if you box you need some coordination because you have to go to different corners and whatnot. We'll get into that at another time. Another important thing, let me see if I have it on this tune. I do. Dark Cone of Mystics. This is, for me, one of the most important items besides the cloak right now. So Dark Cone of Ancient is the best non-damage primary in the game. This is super important for tanks, especially. Every tank should have this. I don't care if you're a warrior, paladin, shadow knight, this is extremely useful because it lets you control the situation. There are many missions, or right now, or even in older ones, where ads are percentage based or mechanics are percentage based and you need to slow down or stop. Or even when you're tanking, you don't want to eat riposte because you're just off tanking it, right? And you don't want it to summon and you don't want to eat riposte. This is going to be the best option. Besides that, there is one raid achievement right now. Let me show you guys. In the Outer Brood, that this is again extremely useful, and it's in the heart raid. Non-explosive. So basically with this one, if anyone's familiar with it, during the event there's 2 energists that spawns, a dark and a light energist, and the top 3 on the aggro list of each dark and light are going to get a debuff on them. So for example, if a tank gets the light debuff on them and they swing and hit the light mob, they explode the raid and fail the achievement. So basically what you want for all your tanks is to have this ready when they spawn. They do their aggro buttons. Melee do not DPS at all because you don't want to be on the aggro list. Make sure that the top 3 are all tanks. Once the trigger happens, they're still wielding the no damage primary, so they can do whatever they need to do. Then the melee could attack and do whatever they need to do to get them dead. There's Gina triggers that show when the debuff is about to happen again, and if anyone needs, obviously contact me in Discord and I'll share it with you. And then rinse repeat, but while the tanks are always having this, you will not fail the achievement. They could use any other aggro buttons and whatnot. So again, this is super important. Make sure you guys get that done. Alright, so now, where was I wrong? In my earlier video I said, like, oh, there's nothing for raiders at all in City of Mist Hardcore, but it was brought to my attention and I did test it out, and I had some other people test it out, and they only give positive reviews for it. And that's going to be, and this is on my Clark right now, Fabled Springwood Club. So as you can see here, it is equipped in my secondary slot. I did put some augs in there and made it a little bit better. And what does this do? So, has a chance to cast Alleviating Hand each time you cast a healing spell. Has the potential to restore 370 mana every time you cast a thing. In addition to that, it can also do a group heal of 1,867. So it's basically a free mana return and a baby heal. Now this baby heal can crit, has all the little modifiers to it, so it's not just doing 1800. It does, quite a bit more, especially with all your A's and everything like that. Why is this significant? Clerics don't usually need mana, but here's the but. There's very few items and augs that do these things for clerics. And, certainly if you died or you're trying to conserve mana, many events now have mana drains. So this is just going to be able to sustain yourselves better. Now, keep in mind, there is a huge stat loss, but in raid setting, honestly, you're probably dead if the mob is hitting you, regardless if you have a shield on or not. So there's that. The best augs that I found for it is going to be the Ancient Opal, which would have been the primary aug. What you can supplement with would be the Black Pearl or the Copper Flecked aug as well. Those fit in primary now. So take a look at that. So where to farm this? If you are in City of Mist right now, the best spot in my opinion is really close to Zone In. So if you follow me, this camp right here. So you have one ooze here, one ooze here, and depending on your DPS or whatnot, you could clear out this room here. Inside here, there's 3, 1 in the center, 2 over there. And then if you still have good DPS, you can clear out the other side, which has another 2 over there. And if you do have a pet user in your group, I'd like to camp this side, the north side, because if you look up, see there's some oozes there. And your pet user, what you could do is something called pet pulling. You type out the command oh shit. Hold on, I almost killed myself. Pet attack GYRA. Right as you see here, slash pet attack, and then back off once you have aggro. And then it will pad down. And it does take time. I think I've gotten doing this with my guys able to clear all those mobs I just mentioned. Probably one in about 2 hours on average. I did farm it for quite a few people. So there's that. Alright, so that's really it. I'm going to wrap it up there. It was quite a bit to talk about. So just in summary, really quickly, Gina is not doing great. Probably look to change your stuff. But I showed you guys how to transfer files, update triggers for people. EQTraders will be back. Server merge. If your guild is looking to come to Drinal, please, I welcome you. EXP bonus, rares, and everything July 1st to July 8th. Rate currency up to 30. Super banner. More player made drops, more spells. In group content, uprisings can drop another one. And there's a better chance of luck and Type 19 drops in Raid Trash. Updates were okay, nothing special. And Hardcore Phase 2 has started. Get your cloaks, your overhaste cloaks, and dark cones. Alright, all. I know that was quite a bit of talking. I do appreciate you guys, and thank you again as your support. Also, I did open up a Facebook account for EQTraders. I will post videos there as well. I'm still learning on how that works, but if anyone is interested, I am also on Facebook now. Alright, thanks all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.